to talk about how to disidentify with your ego and why you might want to do that, how it could aid to your personal development. So to start, I would say something important to know about disidentifying with your ego is that your ego is very, very tricky. It's very tricky. This is something that is hard to catch all the time. For me also, because this is very tricky. It's a very tricky thing. Because your ego is so built up and it's so well engraved in you that it's pretty hard to decipher the difference between your real self and then your egoic self. A good way to figure that out is that whenever you desire, whenever you have an emotional attachment, whenever you're not in the now, whenever you're thinking in the past or the future, that is when you are in an egoic mind state, when you're not just fully present in the moment and taking everything in as it is without applying judgment or attachment to it. That is a big difference between living in your egoic state of mind and your real self state of mind. It provides nothing but a good word I like using, because I'm a fan of this word. It's very a lot of serenity. It's very serendipitous. It's pretty awesome. It's very, very nice. And a technique that I've been using the last week or so has been actualize.org made a video about meditation and concentration. And it was a very, very good video. And I really thought it would be cool because he talks about how to just focus on something and be very disciplined about focusing on, a visual object or a mental thought, just something, focusing on that only, strictly, for, a certain amount of time, kind of like meditation. But, it requires some self-discipline. And something that I have been enjoying has been meditating or being in a meditative state. And if you were to put a camera in front of you and just watched yourself, like you were perceiving a perception watching you. So you're becoming like a literal third-person perspective of someone viewing you, and you just get absorbed into that and you just observe. And that has been something that has been really, really interesting to me, and what ultimately inspired me to make a video about, getting rid of the ego and disidentifying and figuring out if you're living in the ego and if you're not. And like I said, a big thing is attachment, emotional attachment, things that give us pain or pleasure in life. Like say, I like playing music, I like making videos, I like meditating. Meditating is, a spiritual step where it's still kind of egoic because you still have to, think and desire. But desire is, if you didn't have desire, you would have no will, you wouldn't do anything. So if you have, the desire is the catalyst to doing something. And it's just that, desire isn't good, but at the same time, it will get you to a point you need. It's a balance. So much of this stuff is balance. And that's why a lot of this stuff, to me still, is very confusing, because there's so many things that you hear that contradict each other. And there's a reason for that. There's a balance. And that's why things contradict each other. Because, like I said, desire is something that is good in theory. It's good as a catalyst to get you to work on spiritual development or self-development or whatever you're doing. But desire itself is not good because we do it so much. We desire and want so much that, it's not good to do that all the time, because then you're just never happy. You're always, wanting more, striving for more, and you lose the essence of what it is to be the more you think like that. You know, you lose what it's like to be a being and not just an ego controlling this organic body. You know, you become one with it, one with everything in your environment, one with your thoughts. It's just like a well-oiled machine, and it's not just, you know, running amok of attachments and desires. And that's a big part, is attachment, desires, thoughts. I mean, they're big categories, and of course there's different subcategories, but ultimately attachment, even if it's positive, even if it's negative, it doesn't matter, because it is what it is, you know? Because if you are doing something that is making you happy, that's great, because, you know, if you are living in this body, you have to have a balance of, well, okay, now I have to use this to better my ego, because if you might as well just sit in the mountains like the rest of your life if you don't plan on having any more desire and you just want to be. I mean, hey, if that's what you want to, if that's the path you want to take, I'm not, you know, I can't sit here and say, I can't sit here and tell you you can't do something if that's what you want to do. You know, that's not how, I don't know, I don't like doing that. I'd rather people go and experiment for themselves if that's something that they were interested in. You know, maybe get a getaway, go to a mountain or something for a while, and, you know, just see how it goes. But I would say you just have to find that balance between making this realization and then going throughout your normal life and just being aware of this. This is something, that's why I made this video today, is because earlier for me, all morning I've been doing this, where I'll be eating breakfast and watching YouTube videos, and I'll notice and become aware when something in it makes me happy or sad or something, and I catch it. I know Koi Fresco calls this the catch and release. You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he says it. I don't know, if I kind of doubt he probably came up with it, but he does mention it, and it's a great way of thinking about it, because you catch it and then you just let it go and get rid of it, and it's really, really nice, and it definitely helps out a lot. So I would say to definitely be aware of it, try to catch it early, and then let go of it. And if you get into it too far, and then you realize that, oh wow, like it's already submerged in myself a little bit, and it's hard to release it if it's been in there too. It's a fine balance between catching and releasing, and then catching and realizing, okay, it's a little tucked in there. And once you get to that point, it's better to just let it be, like let it ride out, instead of, because resistance makes it grow stronger. If you resist it and you resist feeling sad or mad or whatever your like negative emotion is, the more you resist it, you're attaching to it, so it's not leaving. Resistance is attachment also. So if you just let it go, then the quicker your little mental spurt will pass, and then you'll be able to, once again, get out of the egoic mind and submerge yourself in your true nature, into your real self. And that is a big key that I have found with me personally, and from, you know, research I've done and lectures I've listened to and books that I've read. You know, a lot of this stuff kind of commingles and comes up to the same, obviously it's not, everyone doesn't have the same perspective, but a lot of people have very similar stories about how, you know, our egoic mind works and how we can get rid of it and find a balance with it. Because you don't want to get rid of your ego. You don't want to hate your ego. You just want to make it run better, make it run as a better machine. And then you can, you know, transition in and out of it a lot easier. And it makes life a lot easier. It makes it a lot better, the quality of life better. It's just all around just such a great experience. And I wish that to everybody, because a less egoic mind is a heroic mind, because you're going to be a hero to yourself by doing this, because you're going to realize, holy hell, this is what life can feel like. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty awesome. So focus on the now, get rid of attachments, let thoughts, you can be disciplined and try to just not let thoughts come in your mind and be absorbed in the now and be absorbed in your environment instead of in your mind. Because an expression of out of sight, out of mind is so true, because you never see in your mind. So no one ever thinks about it. No one ever, well, it's funny because people think a lot, but not about thoughts themselves. So just a little bit of something to just make you think, and hopefully it helps you out. Hopefully you learn something. And I, of course, appreciate the time you took to watch this. This is going to be all for today. Very, very fun things to learn. Fun things in the future. The weather's getting nicer, which means going outside for nature vlogs is going to actually happen more, which I'm very, very excited about. So hope you guys are having a great day today. And don't forget those happy trails and those nature bass and prana breaths to keep you grounded in the present moment. See you later, my friends.